Kuala Lumpur. Indonesian construction workers are building yet another Malaysian monument. In its hurry to prosper, Malaysia has become Asia's largest importer of labour. Most come from neighbouring Indonesia. Across the country, Indonesian maids or domestic workers are keeping house and minding children, freeing up Malaysia's middle class to make money. 95% of the maids are from Indonesia. Coming here to work is well within their comfort zone because they speak a similar Bahasa and most are Muslim. Initially, it was a dream come true for Nirmala Bonat. She's one of two maids working for a Malay businessman, and this exclusive gated suburb is a far cry from her kampong in Surabaya. She's held this job for 12 years, but it's cost her the joys of motherhood.
Saya udah lama kerja sini. Saya tak dapat apa-apa lagi. Saya dari kecil tinggal anak saya kerja untuk anak saya. Tapi saya belum dapat apa yang saya nakkan. Itulah sampai sekarang saya kerja terus untuk anak saya.
Nirmala Bonat has sent her daughter to university, and there's 2 more children to educate. The hard years will continue, but at least she's safe from harm. Many other maids in this sprawling city remain vulnerable and isolated. The lucky ones have found a way out. Behind me at the Indonesian embassy, around 180 maids are taking refuge after allegedly being abused by their Malaysian employers. Most of them haven't been paid, but many have suffered physical and sexual abuse, some of it horrific. In the past 3 years, more than 1,000 have sought refuge here, so much so that Indonesian officials have been forced to build a 2-storey shelter within the compound to accommodate them all. Around 60 maids who fled to the embassy have returned to Indonesia empty-handed. Others are taking their former employers to court, and they've settled in here as long-term house guests of the Indonesian ambassador, Prince Rushdihardjo.
Sometimes they lock the maid inside of the house. They are not allowed to use the telephone or everything. So sometimes they report to the neighbor or the guard, or they jump from the story and then escape to our embassy.
They all have stories of abuse to tell, and many even have the scars to prove it.
Nama saya Nirmala binti Haji Sumarto, umur saya 36. Saya sebagai pembantu rumah tangga, asal dari Cilacap, Jawa Tengah. Dia kalau tampar saya, pukul saya, dia pintunya semua tutup, takut ada jiran yang nampak. Sembunyi dia kalau pukul dera saya. Dia jahit sendiri, pukul kepala, hari-hari keluar darah pun dia jahit sendiri. Tak ada orang tahu. Dia kalau ada pasien, dia cakap, kamu punya pembantu, kenapa? Dia cakap bisul-bisul, padahal dia sendiri buat.
Nama saya Haryati, umur saya 35 tahun, pekerjaan saya sebagai rumah tangga. Saya kerja di majikan Cina. Terus saya hari-hari saya dipukul sama majikan. Pakai tangan, pakai kasut di telinga saya. Terus dia tendang ini dada saya, perut saya itu saya tendangin. Mungkin kadang saya tak tahu cakap dia gitu, tak paham kan, jadi dia marah. Terus saya kerja pulang cepat kata dia. Dia lalu pukul saya.
For the maids, Malaysia has been a culture shock. The ambassador has even observed a pattern of abuse.
If sexual harassment, it must be done by Indian ethnic, and for tartar, slapping, and so on is by Chinese employer, while payment problem from Malay.
TW Action Line, can I help you? Right, okay, so you do hear frequent screaming and yelling from the house.
Tenaganita means Women's Force. It's a non-government organisation that relies on tip-offs about abused maids and then sets out to free them.
Because we can use that as an evidence to get the police to go and rescue her.
Jadi tanggal datang kemari bila ke Malaysia?
Indonesian maids are not only the lowest paid, employers are not legally bound to give them a day off.
17 tahun.
The appointment of the lawyers on Wednesday.
Irene Fernandez set up Tenaganita 15 years ago to campaign for the rights of foreign workers.
No, now it's changed to 1:30.
Is bonded labour too strong a term to use?
No, because that is the reality. If you look at the components of the case, you know, when your passport is held and you're not allowed to go out, it's confinement, you know. And when your wages are not paid and there is no mechanism for redress because she can't leave the place of work, then it's bonded labor.
Malaysia's employment laws don't cover domestic workers. Employers and recruiting agents decide terms. The maids have no protection.
We have had tremendous forms of human rights violations and abuse that has taken place. For example, a number of them have been raped by the employer. We had a case of a domestic worker where not only the male employer raped her, but the women employer assisted her husband in raping her. So how does she feel about the trial?
I think she needs a lot of support.
They're talking about Nirmala Bonat, the young maid who's become a cause celeb. A 19-year-old from West Timor whose dream became a nightmare of constant abuse. Nirmala Bonat was abused for 8 months, scalded with hot water, and finally branded with a hot iron. What was your reaction when you saw that sort of abuse that she sustained? What did you feel?
Disgusted. Of course I am. And I feel that that sort of employer should not be giving maids anymore.
Firstly, of course, we don't believe that a lady like the employer can do like that. Not human.
The accused woman is 36-year-old Yin Pek Ha, a wife and mother of 4. She denies committing the abuse. Two years after she was rescued, Nirmala Bonat is still at the embassy's shelter waiting for the trial.
Dan saya lihat teman-teman saya yang pulang dari Malaysia ke kampung saya, mereka bawa uangnya banyak, dan saya pun ingin punya uang banyak. Selepas itu saya terpaksa saya masuk ke sini. Saya pertama kali dipukul gitu.